Hey guys, before we get started on this episode, I just want to make a quick little correction. I got the dates wrong. We are actually at DIY Fest next weekend. When I mentioned it in the episode, we thought we were releasing it on the day of the show. We're a week ahead. So enjoy the episode. Guys, welcome back to another episode of Always Making. It is episode 51. I just want to say thank you guys. This week that we are recording, we are launching our 50th episode.
Woo-hoo.
So you guys can go back and watch that episode after if you missed it. But I've been going through this whole week and like checking out, like putting people together and our past guests, and it's just been so awesome to like see that we've been doing this for 2 years and like we're on 51. We're continuing. We've got another great guest in the studio. I'm on a tangent already with this episode. And but guys, thank you so much for joining us again. Like, comment, subscribe if you know any other local artists in the greater Salt Lake area. Or Salt Lake area, not just the greater part, but yeah, send them our way. We'd love to have conversations. We are joined today by Victoria. You're a tattoo illustrator, drawer, artist, all that. There, we're going to get into a conversation about everything you're doing. But before we do, a little bit of housekeeping. We have today that this launches. This is August 8th. Future time when we're recording.
We're at DIY Fest.
Yeah, there you go. We're at DIY Fest. Victoria also is there at DIY Fest. You can come see her awesome, cool art that she does as well.
All weekend long, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
It's going to be a long one.
And so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're there. If you guys are listening to this the weekend that it releases, please come by, say hi. Tickets are reasonably priced for the event. There's so many things to do, so many fun things. It's a family affair for sure. It's dog friendly as well. But that is that for housekeeping there. We have September. We have your fashion show that is coming up.
Yes. The 1330 Design Collective Market that is going to be at Mill Creek Public Market, Mill Creek Common. That runs the entire month of September 1st to the 28th. And then the fashion show is on the 26th, Mill Creek Fashion Week, second annual, woohoo. And then we also have Jam Fest, which is like, I think the day after the fashion show. I think it's the 27th, I believe. And
it's
that's
in September.
In Marmalade.
We will verify that.
Yeah.
You can guys check us out on social media, Instagram at Steadfast Rebels, and see when the dates of some of the shows. We have a few other shows lined up as well. But as we confirm those, we will get you guys that information. And then you are on your 4th episode of your SOS vlog. We should be at that point there.
Even know.
If you guys are following along, all the pieces Christy's making for the fashion show are there.
For the market.
Going through for the market. Sorry. The fashion show piece has not been made yet, but we're running out. We are running out of time, Christy. So
it's fine. You can build an entire fashion show ensemble in like a day, right?
Yes,
That's a thing.
absolutely. I believe in you.
But that is housekeeping. That is everything we got going on right now that you guys come say hi, support, and we are going to get into this fun conversation here. Victoria, I'm going to butcher this right now. We went over it before we turned the cameras on and everything, but it's Min Jing Yang Tattoo. Min Ji Yang Tattoo. Okay.
Yep. I watch Korean dramas.
You got it. You do got it.
But you are owner of a tattoo parlor.
Yes.
You are an illustrator. You are a tattooist.
Tattooer.
Tattooer.
Tattooist. Both
I
words.
was like, that sounded
Tattoo
weird
artist?
in my
Tattoo
head.
artist.
You are. I've seen handcrafting on your social pages. You're doing all kinds of fun art stuff. You've been doing art markets for years. It seems like from social. Where did that start in 2019?
19, I think, was my very first Craft Lake.
Okay.
That was my very first market. And then that same year, I did their first holiday market. And then in 2020, I did their, I don't know if you guys,
The virtual
one, which
Yeah,
was
for
very
COVID, yeah.
interesting. Yes, that was an interesting one. And then I've taken breaks here and there from having babies. And then I've been back for the last few years, and it's been really fun.
So I want to get into how this all got started for you. You've been doing illustrations and then pursued a career in tattoos and then opened a tattoo shop that you are owner or co-owner?
I didn't open it originally.
Okay.
I took over a year into us opening it during COVID, which was not ideal. But yes, I do now own it, and we hit our 6-year anniversary in May. So
That's
it's been 6 years of us existing, 5 years of it being my shop.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So how did you get started in art?
Ooh, I feel like like most of us, we loved it as a child. And then I think I got to like high school time, still loved it, but didn't think I was good enough for it to become the thing. I went to college, was undecided, jumped around a ton. I was like a drama major for a while, which was fun. And then I'm originally from California, did a couple, like a year and a quarter there, moved here, got my associates, and then I was like, now what? What's the next move? But I was like drawing a ton at this point in my life. So then I was like, maybe I could be an art student. And then I applied to Westminster, got into the art program, and then I just did my bachelor's as a fine art major, doing drawing and painting specifically.
Sorry, guys, little interruption from Bonnie there. So we kind of let her roam a little bit. So she might.
It's not one baby, it's the other one.
Yeah, you might see a tail in the background if you guys are watching this come back and forth. But you were saying you graduated from Westminster with a bachelor's degree.
Yes.
And then what was the decision after that?
After that, so I had started hand poking myself like years prior because I'm a self-taught tattoo artist. And then after graduating and during that Westminster time, I had started tattooing friends of friends, like slowly building my confidence. And then after graduation, I was like, okay, maybe tattooing is the next thing. And so at that point in time, this is 2017, I didn't know any other route to get into the tattoo industry than like the traditional apprenticeships we all know. And I was kind of terrified because unfortunately I had only heard not so great things about apprenticeships, but again, because I didn't know any different, I was like, okay, so I got my portfolio together, ready to go into tattoo shops, and I imagined myself like so small with my portfolio being like, do you want to look at this? When I got super lucky in that the previous owner of Everybody Tattoo posted that she was looking for a hand poke artist specifically. And this was a big deal because at the time I had only heard of one other tattooer hand poking in a studio, like in a tattoo shop. And so I applied thinking nothing of it. And then she saw my stuff and was like, do you want to work here? And I was like, no way. And then we had our opening day, May 4th, 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that year
Awesome.
before COVID.
Yep. And then a year later, I think from what I have reflected upon, she was like the personality type to open a studio. Like that's so scary.
Yeah.
But she was like brave and like, I'm going to do this cool big thing. And then I think a year into it, it was business owning, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then for me, it came down to, because she asked me if I wanted to take over, and I was like, well, what? I don't know anything about owning a business, let alone a tattoo studio. I'm also a baby tattooer of like a year in full time, but I wasn't really sure where else I would go. So opportunity was there, and I was like, okay, let's see how this goes. And then it was COVID, which I feel like was kind of a blessing and a curse, because business was really slow. All of our artists were very on the cautious side, which I'm kind of grateful for, because it didn't have me like stressing about, okay, how do we do this in the safest way possible? Our artists were just like, I'm going to do the safest thing possible and just not tattoo for a while. And so it was me and like one other artist at the time, like slowly figuring it out until we got some like, what's the word? Procedures in place to keep us safe, keep our clients safe, and then we started tattooing again.
Yeah, it's that classic saying of like crawl before you walk, before you run kind of thing. And you really got an opportunity, like you got thrown into the mix of it, but then you're like, oh, I get this time to kind of crawl and figure out how to walk, take my steps into it. And I mean, it's been successful. You're now 5 years of your own personal ownership and 6 years of the business, but it has been a lot for you, to say the least. And then on top of that, your illustration stuff as well. You're selling stuff at shows. What came first? Did you do the shows first, or was the tattoo? Because they both happened right at 2019.
Yeah.
So
I was a busy girl. I was thinking about this too, and I guess it was all coinciding.
Okay.
I think it must have been stuff that I had started drawing and painting after graduating, doing stuff for myself. I've also done like those Inktober things for several years. So I think a lot of my stuff came from that.
That's where a lot of my stuff comes from.
Awesome. 1 month.
Yeah.
Like,
it really, it is one thing that I push myself to do every year. And I tell people like, it might be uncomfortable. You might feel a little stressed about it, but like, if you really get yourself through that month, you feel so accomplished, and then not everything is great out of it. But I get some pieces and then I can go back, rework it a little bit, and then I'm like, oh, I've got these cool pieces
Yeah.
that I can build off of and grow. But yeah, Inktober is one of those ones I really do
Who
enjoy
knew
doing.
one word can take you so far
Well,
for 30 days?
that
31 days.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. The prompts that throw you, you're like, man, this is not what I'm usually going to draw or what I'm thinking of drawing.
Right.
So it really does get into like, okay, push me out of my comfort zone and like let that ride and see what happens.
Yeah.
And so
And sometimes you surprise yourself.
oh,
which is
every
the
time,
best.
yeah. I'm like, wait, I can draw? Holy crap.
Wow, who knew I could draw this thing I've never drawn before?
But so yeah, so that kind of stuff for you all about the same time. Okay, so confidence wise to go, hey, I'm gonna throw myself out into a public
Oh.
market, and confidence wise I'm gonna apply for a tattoo like all in the same time. Like that's a big leap.
It is. What was I thinking? I think my personality type has always been very like DIY.
Mhm.
I'm like, I think I could do that, which is why I started hand poking myself like an idiot. Definitely could have gone better ways of that. I mean, nothing ever terrible happened,
Yeah.
thank goodness. But yeah, so with tattooing, I've always kind of had that mentality in the back of my mind. I wouldn't say I'm like a very confident person overall. Like it's actually a topic that comes up a lot in my therapy sessions with my therapist. But I guess there is like some sort of go-getter. I think I have the drive to do the things that I really love.
Mhm.
And I feel so lucky that I get to do.
Yeah, I can say from experience and from other people we've talked to, the confidence in the thing you are so passionate about, you kind of forget the like insecurities in doing it. Now, the bigger picture of things of like going to a market, applying for a tattoo thing, those are scary things that aren't your usual norm, but like what you're confident and passionate for kind of helps drive and push those things a little bit forward for people.
That's so true. I think like your desire to do it is what pushes you. And then you're like, oh, I guess I can. Thank goodness.
Where does your inspiration come from for your pieces?
A lot of my inspiration is just things around me. I even in arts, when I was an art student, I was very driven by like our connection as humans to things in nature. And when I was graduating, I think my senior show was about like how we kind of tend to forget that we are just as much a part of nature as like the birds that I love to draw or our pets, and I don't know. And so I've always been drawn to like our connection to it. And yeah, so I draw a lot of animals and bugs, and I love learning like fun facts about animals and bugs. And so I don't know, it's just fun. And I think everything in nature is like so beautiful. It's kind of mind boggling to me that things just exist out there. And then so I like to draw the pretty things.
Yeah, Christy's been following you for quite a while, and I've seen some of your work. And I think my favorite stuff from you, because I have that explorer mentality, is your explorer bunny set that you have. Like that's one of the ones I really do enjoy.
That's
like
old,
it
guys.
is.
Wow. Yes, that was a thing.
Yeah.
I like had a bunny for each type of exploration, and I named them at the time, and then it like took off into this like Halloween series where I was like putting the bunny into different Halloween costumes. I think you've talked about this a few times on your podcast, but like series I'm like
Yeah.
a sucker for them.
Yeah.
But then like halfway through, I'm like, what was I thinking? I can't do 100 of these. Why do we do this to ourselves?
I want to talk about your style because you have a very distinct style from what you do and how you like do your illustrations. Do you feel like your style has changed from when you started to where you're at now?
Definitely. I don't know if I can necessarily put into words how it's changed. As far as tattooing goes, I think I've slowly progressed making my drawing style like catch up to the type of tattoos that I wanted to make. Being self-taught kind of like has really made me do one step at a time as far as like my tattoo style progression. As far as art as a whole, I don't know. I think it just kind of naturally happened over time. I do feel like in recent years, I've kind of leaned more into like an illustrative style. And I still sometimes wish I could do like a children's storybook, like illustrate a children's storybook or something like that.
I think that would be awesome. I
Fun.
was gonna say, if your drawings, I think one of the reasons I was drawn to your art personally is that it does remind me of like children's art, not in a like I'm obviously overly simplistic way, but just in like the color palette and the subject matter. Of course, you draw like cute birds and fruits and things like that. And I used to be a preschool teacher, and so I just love that like illustration style. So yes, you should illustrate a children's book.
I would love that. It's a goal. It's definitely a big goal. It feels like a scary goal.
Yeah, I was drawing actually from last October, and I've mentioned this on the podcast. I drew like a cartoonish Mothman, and I'm like, and then just happened to be alphabet books with like Juniper. So I'm like, one of the projects like I have, and it's like every other project like comes into play, but I was like, man, an alphabet book of cryptids would be so cool in
Are
like
there
an
that
illustration
many?
style. There's
Oh,
so
you
many.
should do it.
Yeah. And like, I know it's such a big task to take on, but I have like those same things. Yeah, and like I imagine your kids influence that a little bit too now
for
that
sure.
you get that little bit time with them, that you go, oh, maybe I can like draw for them and do
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So
And reading books to them is
Yeah.
so fun, getting inspiration from those. Oh, I guess I get inspiration from like other illustrators too, obviously.
how is your process? Like, how, when you sit down to draw, is it just a whim of like, hey, I've got this idea, I'm going to go? Or do you kind of think out your process that you're trying to create something new?
I think it's changed over the years. Maybe you guys can relate to like the parenting thing coming into play. I wish I could do more traditional stuff, but I'm like very digital these days just because getting a bunch of supplies out and then cleaning it up with like babies running around, like just the thought of it stresses me out. So I think like another thing I struggle with is like when inspiration strikes does it happen to be at a time that I'm not watching babies or working in some other aspect? So I've struggled with it a little bit, but when it's there and the timing is right, I think I just start with a very loose sketch of whatever idea I have in my mind, and then I don't know, sometimes it changes, sometimes it goes a different direction than I think, but yeah, super rough, ugly sketch, and then go from there. Yeah.
So I've seen a lot of your stuff is traditional style. Do you do digital work as well, or is it primarily all traditional?
It's mostly digital now. Back in the day, I did a lot more like traditional drawings and paintings. And for a little while, right after I graduated, I was doing like really big oil painting commissions for people who wanted to like hang things in their house. It's kind of weird to think that was like a phase of my life. But yeah, definitely now not working very like tactile and not getting my hands dirty and just on my little iPad doing my thing.
Is that something that you feel you want to get back to someday?
Oh, definitely. I think I dream of it. Like I love watching like time lapses of people just painting, and then you just get that itch to be like, I want to do that. But yeah, I just keep telling myself there will be a time and a place, and I just gotta be present right now for the little babies.
Yes. Yeah. I've been telling myself there's seasons in life, and right now I'm in the young child season, and that means there's not time for things like taking care of our yard, which is dead. But that's fine.
Fine. Yeah. And this drought, it's okay anyways. Yeah.
We're eco-friendly.
Yeah, exactly.
We have plans. We write them down, and just we'll get to them
Someday,
when we get some time.
when
Yeah.
it's time.
Yeah, we bought the fixer-upper house, and it's like, okay, there's still parts to fix up, and
There probably will always be, and that's okay.
but like it is always hard as you start adding task and requirements and care for others and things like that in life. But you run a tattoo shop. How does that influence like your everyday?
It stresses me out a lot. But it's also super fulfilling. I don't know, owning a business is tricky, and I've noticed I think the thing that I struggle with the most is the people side of it, like keeping artists in our shop, making sure everyone has what they need and that the business is like running well and properly. I get super anxious when I'm like not there for whatever reason, but I'm getting better at it over time. It's just been a huge learning experience. And I think I'm getting better, but I am a bit of a people pleaser, and so that gets in my way every now and then.
Yeah, that is, I think, for a lot of people, the struggle of like running a business that you manage people like becomes a conversation of like, man, like I might have to fire somebody. I have to make sure like they get their checks. There's a lot more stress involved in that side of things. And so like, does that kind of affect sometimes your like inspiration on like, oh, I'm going to draw some dark stuff today?
Ooh, I don't know if I've ever thought about it that way. Maybe. But I don't know if I can like think of a specific time.
Yeah.
I feel like for me, I get kind of, I don't know. I feel like some people get mad. I tend to get sad. So maybe it's not dark. Maybe it's a little
It's
sad.
sad.
Yeah.
Like upside down frown on
Yeah.
the like.
Like,
all right, we'll go
this
that way.
bunny is sad today.
Sad bunny.
I want to talk a little bit about your market experience and going through that whole process. When you started, it was, I forget, it was painted sheep. Is that
Yes.
okay?
Yes, it was painting
sheep. Okay.
So now sheep is still there because Minji Yang. Minji is my Korean name, and Yang actually means sheep in Korean.
Okay.
It's not like a part of my name. Some people are like, "Is Yang your last name?" And I'm like, sorry, no. But when I was coming up with this new business name, it's because I was trying to tie. Why did I change my name? I don't remember. Now that I thought I knew, and now I'm doubting myself. But I did want to switch things up. And I asked my sister, like, what would be a cute way to incorporate these things? And she was like, I think in Korea they do use yang at the end of like children's names in like preschools as like a term of endearment. I hope I'm not
cute.
wrong, sis. This is on you.
That's cute.
So then Minji Yang came into play, and then I was still painting sheep for a while. And then that's when I changed to Minjiang Shijang, which means market. Shijang means market in Korean. So that's when I was like, I'm going to keep my 2 separate accounts, which I struggle with that all the time still. Like, was that the right decision? But now I have Minjiang Shijang for like my art, markets, things that I sell. And then Minjiang Tattooer is all my tattoo stuff.
So with the market side of things, how have you felt like you've changed from day one to we're at Craft Lake today? Like,
yeah, I know, crazy. I hope we're killing it.
Yes, it's going awesome.
Definitely changed a lot. In the beginning, my booth was like bare, like lots of original paintings and drawings, maybe some stickers, very, very low scale. Now it's grown quite a bit. I do wish that I could do more handmade things, but I am lately more so relying on like getting my designs printed on things, working with local people as much as possible to get things screen printed, things like that. But yeah, lately it's more like sending things off and hoping they look great when they come to me. Apart from some shrinky dink earrings that I'm making. I haven't made them in so long, so I'm having like a blast making them, but it's like really easy because it's like a kid's craft to just draw things really quickly. Okay, I shouldn't say it's that easy. It takes a lot of time, like cutting everything out, baking it. And then I do like to do like a resin layer on top to like make them all really nice and shiny. But that's the one handmade thing that I'm still trying to like cling to with my time. But hopefully later on in years, I'll be like doing more paintings and drawings, like original art that I can sell.
As you get past the like scariness of owning a business and feeling more confident with leaving and getting some more time kind of thing, and then the kids grow up and get a little bit more time in that sense too. Like Chrissy's all like, the day she goes to kindergarten I'm gonna have so much free time, and
school age is gonna be my
the
time.
best. Yeah, it's pretty great.
But that overall progress for you, how much of a learning curve was it to get to where you're at now for that market side of things?
Definitely a lot of learning. I've only really done Craft Lake up until last year. I think last year was my first year branching out, and I did 3 markets total.
Okay.
This year, being at Craft Lake is my 5th so far. We'll see. But that's the last one I have like scheduled and that I got into. But yeah, so much learning. Like setting up the booth is hard. Making sure you have everything is hard. I feel like every element of it is hard. But it's also so fun. I love being at markets and seeing my fellow vendors, seeing patrons that are so excited to see your stuff. But yeah, it's been a lot to learn.
Yeah, it's very rewarding getting that instant like gratification of like what you've done when someone buys it and they go, "Oh man, I like this," and you're like, "Oh, like okay, I made a good choice on that kind of thing." But like for everybody out there like listening, it is a lot of effort. And you have to be willing to put in that effort. And so we always like to encourage people like, hey, go out there and try it. See if it's something for you. And like, no, it's going to be work. And testament to what you're doing is like, you're still doing it. Like it's enough of a love and passion and growth for you that you're like, hey, I want to keep doing this.
Yeah.
With the tattoo shop, do you kind of see like how like those two worlds blending a lot? I mean, I know your illustrations are
Yeah.
your tattoos sometimes and things, but do you see a lot of that blend together?
I think so. I think there's just been funny instances where, like, one time someone came up to my booth and was like, I think someone's stealing your designs. And they're like, I think someone's turning your designs into tattoos. And I was like, oh, it's me. We're all good.
Like, I'm
So-
also the tattooer.
Yes. So I think sometimes it confuses other people to see me in one way and then another. But yeah, I definitely like use my designs, like,
Yeah.
reuse,
Mhm.
repurpose as
Mhm.
much as possible. That's been great. I also have a couple times had like small markets in our tattoo shop, which
Oh,
was
very
really
cool.
fun.
Cool.
But again, it's like a lot of work. So I'm like, do we do that again? I don't know. Was it worth it? I don't know. All those hard decisions.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
With Bonnie's crawling through us over here, guys, and she is being very, very needy tonight, I guess.
I know.
And
She
so,
needs attention tonight.
but with everything you're doing and going forward with some of the projects and stuff, like, how do you see the growth of the tattoo shop like affecting like some of your decisions?
I honestly, so this is, I don't see much growth for the tattoo studio. For me, after these 5 years, unless we like decide to get a bigger space, which would be awesome. Okay, pipe dream would be a much larger space filled with artists, maybe with like a very large, nice retail area with local artists there, things like that, like more of like a storefront and a tattoo studio. That would be like the dream. But as of right now, I'm just happy having our chairs filled with artists whose like views align with mine, and who just love to be there. So yeah, I don't see like much growth necessarily with the tattoo shop. I'm just happy to continue existing on as we are.
Yeah, totally understandable. Like sometimes it like finding that sweet spot
Exactly.
is the goal, and if you find that sweet spot and can survive in that world and everything, like have at it. That's where the success really is.
For now.
I want to talk a little bit about the courage to start poking people. We've had a few tattoo artists on here. We've had some apprentice tattoo artists on here that haven't actually, when we had the conversation, they didn't actually poke anyone yet. They were getting to that point, but you are self-taught. I mean, sometimes, easy to kind of poke yourself, I think, but like taking the confidence of like taking your art and putting it on someone. How did you like get comfortable doing that?
Great question. I foolishly started tattooing myself. Everything is fine, guys. But but would I maybe have taken more precautions? Probably. But I started hand poking myself out of like pure curiosity. And then it was just a thing I kind of did just for me for a while. And then it wasn't until I moved here, was going to school during that college time at Westminster, that a lovely friend of mine, Brandy, was like, who did those tattoos? And I was like, I did. And she was like, will you do one on me? And I was like, no. Terrifying. And she was like, it's okay. Like, she really pushed me, encouraged me, made me feel comfortable knowing it would be my first one on another person. And so then I did one on her, and it was like really exhilarating and exciting. And I realized like how much better it is to have both your hands than just one. Such a silly thing. And to be like really close to the tattoo and like really look at all the little details. And so from there, yeah, I just like slowly started doing more on friends, love you friends who were so brave back then. And yeah, it's been, being self-taught is not easy.
So on the self-taught aspect of it, let me.
Yeah, like,
is it,
did you like
you-
YouTube?
YouTube? Yeah,
Like,
like
how
YouTube,
did you
like,
even
Oh,
like?
I wish.
like-
Okay, so
like-
there was like this one super sketchy video of a guy who did not have any proper tattoo equipment, but was like using a Sharpie and somehow like transferred something. And then I tried it and I was like, it's not working. So I just drew it and then I just went for it. But I don't really remember. There must have been like something that got the idea of hand poking into my brain, something in media. But this was like before. Nowadays, if you want to learn, there's so many wonderful YouTube accounts just purely dedicated to teaching you how to tattoo. about all the different sizes of needle cartridges, things like that. But back then it was like a free for all and I had no idea what I was doing. I don't know what I was thinking. It was just delusion, I guess.
Okay, so you started out poking yourself, then you got friends who were willing and able. Fast forward, and you, I believe, tattooed your mom.
Oh, yes.
What was that like?
Oh,
and what did she get?
okay, so she got a little chicken from my flash, which was like so kind of surprising. I think like leading up, I was all excited and telling my clients, and I'm like, I wonder what she's gonna choose. And in my mind, I was like, she'll probably go with like classic flowers or something. But we get there, and she's like, okay, let me look through your designs. And she's like, should I get a chicken? And her zodiac is a chicken.
Okay.
But I take credit because so am I. I'm like, it's for both of us. But she chose a little chicken. This was a huge deal for me because way back when I told my mom that I was going to start tattooing as my full-time job, when I got that position at Everybody, I called her on the phone because my parents are still in California. And I was like, Mom, I have something to tell you. She's like, okay. I'm like, I'm going to tattoo full time. Like, I think this is what I'm going to do. And it was like a long silence. I was like, oh no. And she was like, I don't really mind you tattooing other people. I just don't want you to get any more on yourself. And it was one of those things where I was like, like, I'm not going to say like, okay, you know, because I'm like, I know I was going to get more tattoos. And so a huge deal to jump like 5 years in later, 5-6 years in, and for her to be like, okay with one on her own body.
So that was her first tattoo?
It was her first tattoo.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Has she since gotten more? Or is
no,
it just
I asked recently, and I'm going to see her because I'm traveling to California at the end of this week. And I'm planning on like kind of asking her about her experience and doing like a little video. But yeah, it was really sweet. My dad, like, who also is like similar situation of opinions as far as tattoos back then, was like helping her choose the size and like like approving the placement because she was like, yeah, like Yogi, like, you know, should I do it here? And it was like kind of a weird, surreal experience. But here we are.
That is so cute. I love it.
That's really cool.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is a pretty crazy. And how nervous were you?
I was pretty nervous. I was like trying to act all cool because it's my mom. And then I realized like I'm hurting my mom, which I've never intentionally done, but it's just a part of my job. But I was like, are you doing okay? And she's like, yeah, it's fine. It hurts a little bit. And, you know, she's just being very calm and collected through the whole thing. My sister, who's 2 years older than me, doesn't have any tattoos yet, and it's more just like a personal aesthetic choice, but she's my next target. And she called because she wasn't there, she wasn't able to be there when my mom was getting her tattoo, so she had so many questions after, and she's like, Mom, did it hurt? My mom was like, you could never. And I was like, Mom, don't say that. Like, I'm trying to get her to get one too. But I think I can do it. We'll see.
So let's talk about the tattoo process a little bit and how that works for you. Some of your pieces are smaller little flash pieces, and I've seen some of your pieces are larger in scale. I know there's a range in time, but because it's a stick and poke, does it take longer than traditional tattooing?
Yes, hand poke does take longer, but I actually do both. I do both machine tattooing and hand poke now. I have done larger scale hand poke pieces, and it definitely takes longer. In those situations, it's like if the client specifically wanted their piece hand poked, then of course I'll do it. I do sometimes make slight stylistic choices based on hand poke or machine, but yeah, it definitely is a time difference. There's also a feeling difference. Some people just end up having a strong preference for one over the other for various reasons.
Does one hurt more than the other?
So it's a hard one to answer because, and I feel like this is probably annoying for people to hear, but it's one of the questions I get asked most commonly, and I always say it depends on the person. Some people are like, have several machine tattoos, get their first hand poke from me, and they're like, this is awesome, it feels like nothing, I only want hand poke from now on. And then I'll have the polar opposite where they're also covered heavily in machine tattoos, get their first, and they're like, yeah, I never want to experience that again. So
interesting.
It could also depend on placement.
Yeah, I don't have any tattoos. Christy does.
I have
but
one.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love.
I was like, I'm nothing against it. I I want it to be right, and I don't know, like if maybe I'm past the point of actually the first one now, because I'm like,
I mean, look,
is
it took us 15 years to get married, so it might be a commitment
Wow.
issue.
Aw. No. Would you ever like want to get something of your own
Well,
thing tattooed maybe?
I don't think so. I think I would actually want another artist's piece, because I haven't, like, so the ideal piece that I've and I don't know if I've talked about it here, but now it's I've always wanted a tree on my back shoulder, intertwined with camera film and music notes, because those are two big things that influence my world. But now juniper is now, so it's like, oh, I could get a juniper tree and then again still film. And so I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, maybe I'm solidifying that a little bit more, because there's things like I wouldn't know what tree to start with. Now I kind of have a direction of a tree, but I don't know if I can draw trees.
Yeah. I'm sure you could.
I have a book like down there, how to draw trees.
Oh my god, I love that. I love those books.
Yeah, but I've never actually tried to draw a tree.
Yeah. Maybe it's time
Yeah.
to try, or maybe you find the
Yeah.
artist that has a style that you love,
Yeah.
and then you just let them go
And
for it.
I think the toughest part I have is there's so many cool artists
There
that
are
have
so
so many
many.
cool styles. And I mean, if you look at our wall, we have all kinds of different
Yes.
variety of
Yep.
things. I don't know if I can pick one.
That's
And then,
tricky
then I
too.
worry that I'm like, oh, I'm not going to pick one. And then all of a sudden I'm like covered in tattoos. And I'm like, man, I can't afford
You
this.
could be your wall. Okay, yeah, that's fair. You go one at a time
Yeah,
at
yeah,
that
yeah.
point. But your back one, is it a back one?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
like
that's a
back
big
shoulder
one.
blade kind of thing. And I've always thought about like it coming like up and wrapping on the arm,
Cool.
but I'm like, man, that's a big piece. Can I think I can handle pain, but I'm also like, I don't know if I can handle pain.
From what I've learned, if you want it badly enough, you can handle it.
Yeah.
And if it's done in multiple sessions, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Just
So-
don't do one session and then be like, I never want to do that again, because
Yeah.
then you'll have an unfinished
Unfinished.
tattoo.
Yeah, that's also the other thing. I'm like, man, if it's a big old tree, how like how long is that
Would
session
be
gonna be?
cool,
Yeah.
though.
Start with a trunk, and then you
Yeah.
might
Oh,
start with a stump. Just a stump tattoo.
Oh, no, please don't do
What
that.
does the stump stand for? It's just
Failed
'cause I
tattoo.
failed tattoo. Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
But yeah, so I don't know how pain wise that, and like that's always a question I have is like, is one less pain than the others? And you don't really have a good answer for me.
It
on
just
that
totally depends on the person. But maybe if that's your fear, then you start with like one smaller one just to
Yeah.
get an idea of what it feels
Yeah.
like. And then you commit to your big idea.
I've had a couple tattoo artists on here, and they've told me the same thing. I'm like, I don't know, guys. Okay, we'll see. Maybe one of you guys are gonna convince me. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, with that, like, how long is like an average session for you through the process?
I'd say like low end, I'm usually around like 2-3 hours. Like
Okay.
maybe that's like my majority of my like, small to medium tattoos. And then a long session for me would be like a 6-day or 6-hour day.
Oh, I was like a 6
6
day.
day.
Whoa.
I mean, there are some that will take that much time, but my full day sessions, I try to do like 6 hours.
And when you're doing a 6-hour like piece, how big of a piece is that, like in general? Or I guess detail really kind of comes into play there, but like I imagine the bigger pieces take more time. So
Yeah, I think other artists, other tattooers do things differently, but the 6 hours does factor in some like stenciling time, getting our placement just right, and then maybe we'll tattoo for like 5 hours that day.
Okay.
I think I can accomplish a decent amount. I don't know if I couldn't do like a full sleeve or anything, but like a decent, I don't know, depending on how much detail it is, like a good like 9-10 inches
Okay.
of something.
size.
Of something.
Yeah, something.
It's a good size tattoo.
Yeah.
How many tattoos do you think you've done so far?
Oh my gosh, I have no idea. I am curious and would love to find out, but I don't even know how I would go about that. And also, like, each year has fluctuated with like life. So yeah, I don't know. I do
How
like.
many-
Go
okay,
ahead.
yeah.
I was
guess
gonna
we can do
say,
math.
how many tattoos do you personally have?
I think I have.
Wait, you don't know?
I
Like,
don't know. I haven't counted in a while. I think the last time I counted, I was around like the 30
Okay.
mark. So maybe I'm like 40 to 50, but I do get a lot of smaller ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, are we talking maybe 500 plus tattoos
Tattoos
that
that
you've
I've done? Probably. That's crazy.
Like that. Yeah.
Well, let's see. I do like maybe at least two a day. Right now, I work 3 days a week. So that's 6 in a week if I have like a full week.
Mhm.
Wow.
And then if you count each individual tattoo, then that can also be different because sometimes I'll do like 6 little ones in one day for one client.
I mean, I'd count that as 6 different
6
tattoos.
different
Yeah,
tattoos.
I would.
So
Yeah,
I fluctuate.
you could probably be in the thousands.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah,
That's
like
wild.
5 years. I'm like thinking because I just doing the math of like 6 a week
Yeah.
at 52 weeks
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Well, you're not working every
Well,
week,
yeah.
but still.
But yeah, but
definitely
like
take
in
time
that
off.
sense on average, but it's like man, you in 5 years, you could be very easily over 1,000 tattoos.
Yeah,
in
that's
that.
nuts.
Yeah. Do you have a memory that like of doing someone's tattoo that really sticks out to you?
For some reason, only the not great ones came to mind. let me let me think of a good one. I mean, I feel like every tattoo carries some meaning for people. So every day in my job feels so special. Even if they're getting it for like a silly reason, I love that. But of course, there's really sweet ones where you're getting like your grandmother's handwriting to just remember her, or getting, I don't know, there's a lot of grandparent related tattoos lately. Getting like a certain animal or a bird that reminds them of their grandma, or spending time with their grandma in their garden. Any family related tattoos are always so sweet. Yeah, I don't know, but the ones that I feel like giddy about are when someone gets like a flash design that I'm like, I really want to do this. And if they get it on a placement that's really cool. Okay.
Bonnie's
She spooked
being
herself.
curious over here.
No, she spooked herself.
Sorry.
She got spooked. No, it's fine. Dogs will be dogs. But yeah, so if I get like a specific design, like this year I've done a lot of like tomatoes. I'm like, love a tomato. They're so cute and such an aesthetic little. I'm like, I'll be really sad when the tomato trend ends because I'm just out here tattooing tomatoes happily every time. But also birds, obviously. I love birds.
I
Bring
didn't
me your
realize
birds.
tomatoes were a trend then.
It is. It's weird, right? It's weird, but yeah.
Do you have a favorite bird that you'd love tattooing? The quails I've seen you do are really
Quails
cool.
Are so cute.
Yeah, quails are pretty cool. We have a flock that's in the neighborhood that just keeps
No
running across.
way.
Yeah.
I rarely see them.
Oh,
I
they're
see 'em all the
like
time.
almost every week.
So
I get a
cute.
glance of them everywhere.
They're
They have a
so
bunch of
cute.
little hatchlings right now that are running behind
That's
them.
the
Yeah, I
best.
was like,
That's
okay, gotta
adorable.
go. Like, is it creepy that I'm in your yard,
I know.
neighbor, with my cameras shooting these
No,
quails?
okay, maybe.
Yeah.
Depending on who you ask.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Any bird. I also love like learning about a new bird, and then usually the person has some cool reason. I'm like, okay, now you got to tell me about this bird. So the nature side has been really fun because when people bring me like a very specific creature, I just got to know why and what do you like about them? What's cool about them? But I do love a pigeon.
Yeah.
I think a pigeon is like such an underrated bird that we like see all the time, but they're actually like really pretty, and there's like fun colors in them. And yeah, I love a pigeon. Bring me your pigeons, people.
So you're talking about love for the birds, love for new creatures. When you get someone coming in asking about a new creature that you haven't potentially maybe drawn, what is that? Do you like explain that a little bit? Do they come in, request it, then they schedule something later down the line after you do some like scribbling and ideas?
Yes, kind of. So I'm actually opening my custom books tomorrow, which will be in the past. But basically, I am a little bit like OCD and I have anxiety. So I like to know everything as much as possible in advance. So I have a form on my website that people will fill out saying what they want. So like a pretty, as well detailed description of what they want, size, placement ideas, all the little nitty gritty things that I need. And then I have like a spot where they can send me photos. So I get super excited to look through everyone's forms. And then from there, because I can only take on so many, will like do a selection process and email those who I've chosen to take on. And I book cyclically. So this booking round, I'm booking August and September appointments. So I'll send them a booking link. And then I have like a month or two to like get all of those things booked before like their appointments come, and then before their appointment comes up is when I start drawing their designs. So yeah, definitely like a lot of things in advance.
Well, and then how do you choose your like flash designs? Are those just like favorite drawings of yours, or?
Yeah, Flash lately I'm like drawing in for the sake of Flash. And it's just kind of whatever I want to tattoo in the next little bit. For a while I was drawing like in my sketchbook. I love a sketchbook practice, and my sketchbooks are like prized possessions. But I'll do like really kind of in between, like not super duper rough, but not like, you know, completely detailed out drawings that I'll then take photos of if I like them, and then like finalize them on my iPad, and then that's what I offer up as Flash.
You brought up sketchbooks, and what I always like to ask, if I can remember to ask it on the episodes, is there a tool that like you cannot live without in your creative process?
Unfortunately, my iPad.
Yeah, and that's like I get it. Like
You
that's
know,
yeah.
I wish it was something else
Yeah.
almost, but I mean, I love it. And thank you, iPad.
Yeah.
I've had you for a long time. Definitely my iPad, but I guess sketchbook would be. I feel like if I go somewhere, even if I kind of know in the back of my head that I won't have time to sketchbook, I'm like, I still gotta take my sketchbook. You never know. So sketchbook practice has definitely carried on.
Yeah.
Through like several years.
The iPad has been a game changer for me. I'm not a big Apple like fan, but like the iPad is one of those things where I'm like, there's nothing like. Are you using Procreate? Yeah, it's like I've played with the Adobe software, Fresco, and all the other ones, but Procreate is the one I keep coming back to,
It's
and
great.
it's like a weird cheat code. Like,
It is.
and so I say it plenty of times here, but it does go everywhere with me. It really, and there's times where I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna sit here and like I'm gonna scribble something out, or sometimes it's like I don't even open it, but it's like that it's there. It is
The
my
option is
sketchbook
there.
kind of thing. Yeah.
Mhm.
I want to give you an opportunity for people who are listening and have maybe the idea that they want to get into the world that you are in of illustration or tattoos. Is there advice that you have that maybe someone like you wish someone gave you at an early time that maybe kind of like push you in a direction?
I think knowing that there is going to be an audience for you, even though it takes some time, would give you maybe a confidence boost. I feel like going to markets and seeing like the wide variety of art styles just reminds me that like there's a market for everyone's style, and I think that's really cool. But I don't know, is it cliche to be like, just do it, just start?
No,
No.
it is a theme we see with a lot of the guests on here is that just do it, just like, and like we will repeat that statement like over and over. It's like you can only find successes if you start.
Yes.
And like if you didn't take the time to do a market, if you didn't take the time to apply for the tattoo, you would not be in the position you are in now.
So true.
It might have come at a different point. You might have had it, but because you did it at the time you did, you're here now doing what you're doing. And so I can only repeat that like over and over. Just do it. Like
Just do
it
It's
seems
scary,
cliche, but yeah.
Yeah. And I will say, like, I've always been very precious about making sure I'm like enjoying the process and doing what I love as much within reason.
Yeah.
Like as a tattoo artist, that's why I try to be very selective, specifically of the customs I take on, because that's unfortunately where I see the most of me being drained, because it's not like just flow of creative flow. Like there is something that I'm trying to get right. But if I read it and I get excited about it, then I'm like, okay, this is gonna be okay later on when I have to like kind of force it. Because as great as it is that with tattooing you are drawing constantly, there is a point in time where you have to force it, and that makes it sound really bad, but I just mean you have this appointment coming up and the client is expecting this for them, so you gotta draw it.
Yeah, like I get it, because there's times where like I feel like drawing, there's times like I don't feel like drawing, and if you have a client appoint and you don't feel like drawing, you're like, oh tough.
Yep.
I have to
Sucks to
draw.
Yep.
Where can people find more information and follow the cool things that you are doing out there?
So on Instagram, I post way too much, but for my tattoos, you can find me at minjiang_tattooer. And then for my art and market updates, you can find me at minjiang_shijang, which is SIJANG. And I do have a website, which is minjiang.com. But honestly, Instagram's probably the best way where I'm like really good about updating everyone.
Is there anything in this conversation you think we might have missed about like your whole process, your tattooing, your passion, any of that stuff that you wanted to get out there to the world?
No. Oh, we'll have a flash day at our shop. If you guys want to get on that, come join. This will be the week after Craft Lake. So
Okay.
if we have openings, you should come get a tattoo at our flash day at Everybody Tattoo.
Yeah, that's the shop that
Awesome.
you can go check out all the cool stuff. And if you guys want to get tattoos, go check it out. That's another cool option.
But I did have a question.
Oh.
Because we did talk about my name. I want to know where your guys' name came from.
I did forget. We did ask that off camera and everything. We were trying to figure out our type of business. We both were born in 1987, and so we're like, ooh, 1987 conspiracy theory, or 1987. We were like playing around with that, and we kind of didn't like both feel the vibe of it. I think we spent 6 months maybe like kind of going back and forth on it.
We spent a while. So I started the business because I had left my job at the preschool, and so I was still using I was a blogger for a while and I had an Etsy shop under Delightfully Christy, so I was still using that. But we were coming up on like January was coming up, and I was like, okay, the new year, we should like figure out the name. Like, let's do this. Let's do our LLC. Let's do all of that and make it like legit and do our like joint business that we've been wanting to do forever. But I think it got down to basically we were like writing down lists of words and just being like, what words? Like we were both super into like nerddom, so we were kind of throwing out like Star Wars names,
Rebels,
but we didn't want to
kind of side of
pigeonhole
thing.
ourselves either. But so that's where Rebels came from. Was definitely Star Wars because we were both big Star Wars fans.
We also feel like we rebel against the norm of like what the society kind of pushes us.
Yeah, I think we've always kind of felt a little bit like outsiders in a sense. So yeah, that kind of like fit in that sense. But we also wanted something that like we've kind of talked about this obviously a lot in the past, but like we feel like being genuine is really important to us. Like all of our friends, all the people that we like really love and care about, we're really close to, are people that are really like genuine people. And so I think steadfast kind of came out of that as well. It's like being steadfast, being genuine, being true to yourself are all really important.
And like being true to your beliefs of who you are kind of thing and sticking with those. So it's like that steadfast is being stuck in that like direction, but also being the rebellion or the rebel that like keeps you and your identity who you are as well kind of thing, and makes who you are.
Bit of an oxymoron.
That's kind of what we were playing with in that sense. And so that's where that steadfast rebels come from, because I mean there's two of us, so I had to make it plural. Add an S. But yeah, that's kind of where that was kind of housed from. I don't know if we've talked about that too much here on the
I feel like maybe we talked about it a little bit in one of our like solo episodes, but yeah.
I always want to know where people's names. I think it's just so fun. Like you came up with it.
It's how we are personal and identify ourselves, and it means something. It's a badge that you wear on yourself for people to like see. Like I love this idea that we are who we are, genuinely who we are, and we're these and like when I wear steadfast stuff, like most of our clothes is steadfast stuff kind of thing. And so awesome. Most of the stuff is like, I think most of the things I have in my like clothing is stuff I've made because I didn't feel like it was out there for me. And I'm like, man, I just like rocking like the pieces that I make because I feel that so proud about it kind of thing. And so I don't know, that steadfast rebel just kind of fits for us. So
I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for asking.
But again, thank you for coming down, having a conversation with us.
This was fun.
This was it always is. And I love hearing everybody's conversation and having their whole backstory kind of giving us trust to kind of have that conversation. So thank you so much for coming down to our basement and not being creeped out or anything like that.
Oh my gosh, it's really cool in here, guys.
But we appreciate you coming down. And guys, we're at Craft Lake City. If you're watching this on Friday or that weekend that this release, we're at Craft Lake City's DIY Fest this whole weekend. So come down, check out us, check out Victoria, check out other guests that have been on the show. It has been an awesome 2 years that we've been doing this now, and met a lot of great people, and a good majority of them are at DIY Fest with us this weekend. But also, if you guys have any local artists to the Salt Lake City or the greater Salt Lake area that you think we should know about them, like, send them our way. Have them have a conversation with us. We'd love to. But like, comment, subscribe, and do all those things. It helps us out. And we will see you guys on the next episode.
Bye. Thanks for watching.